Hello.
Hello. I was just making fun of Leslie for never seeing Jim in the holograms, and y'all missed it.
Yep, I didn't even realize Jim was a girl. I was busy watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
This is prior to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I don't remember them. Anyway, I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les,
I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
and this is episode 197, even though it feels more like 200. It is
Like
March.
we've done this before.
I know. It's March 25th, 2014. We use a couple of different programs in recording, and when one of them does a software update and the other one doesn't, sometimes things get broken, and you don't know it until you've recorded an hour-long podcast.
Or 2 hour long
Yeah,
podcast.
so, anyway, I think we've got it working for now. So, anyway,
Yay!
works in progress. Are you at the end of a row?
I'm not. How about you go first?
Okay. Alright, so I have two things that I'm working on. One is my Driftwood pullover by Isabel Kramer. I changed the striping sequence on it a little bit, but this is the overall look of it. And I'm using, sorry for going off screen there, I'm using Bally Yarns Amherst,
Pretty.
which I got from Webb's during Rhinebeck this past year.
Webb's is a
2015.
yarn shop in Massachusetts.
Yep, Northampton. And you can also shop online at yarn.com. And I am mostly done with the body. I've got another red stripe to go, and then I'm going to do a purple stripe. That's what's next. And then I'll do ribbing at the bottom.
In gray.
Yes, in gray, and then I'll do the sleeves and all the collar. I'm not going to do a rolled collar. I don't really like how that looks. So I'll probably do something simple like a ribbed collar. I'll have to look and see what other people have done and how it looks. But
Yeah.
it's been going really quick. I'm using a US size 8, which I believe is a 5mm. And it's a big bulky project, so I don't work on it for long periods of time because it's starting to warm up. So
Yeah.
even though as I was coming downstairs I looked outside and it is snowing.
Oh,
So
that's fun.
that's wonderful.
It is mid to late March. Sometimes that happens.
It was 65 on Saturday, and
Wow.
it's snowing there, so that's just wonderful. I'm sick of snow, even though I don't have it nearly as bad as a lot of people do.
I wish I had snow. Snow makes me excited.
The only other thing that I have on the needles is the Hina Giku hat, which is free on Ravelry. It is by 87 Cafe. It's linked in the show notes. I'm using a new to me yarn, which is awesome. It is 100% Wensleydale. It's by Juno Fiber Arts, and it's her Wren, W-R-E-N base. And Wensleydale is a longer staple than Merino, so you can see it's got a little bit of a halo on it, a little fuzz.
Now that Halo song stuck back in my head.
All right, Beyonce. So this is not going to be soft enough for next to skin wear, not for extended periods of time. You
An
probably,
outerwear.
yeah,
vibe.
you wouldn't want to knit like a baby sweater or anything out of it. It's a little scratchy in the ball, but as I'm knitting it, it's actually really soft. I'm really happy
Good.
with it. So this is a hat, and like I mentioned, it's the Hinagiku hat, which I believe translates to daisy, but it's hard to know for sure because when you plug it into Google Translate, or when I did, it translated it to a bunch of Japanese characters, which did not help me at all. So, according to my Google Foo, I believe it translates into daisy, but I could be very wrong. I do not speak Japanese, so. So this is what it looks like. I did a twisted German cast on, twisted ribbing
I
for
love that cast on.
2.5 inches, and then I started this daisy stitch, which is kind of a pain in the butt because increasing and decreasing in the same set of 3 stitches, so it's one that you have to actually look at versus one you can sort of mindlessly knit while you're watching TV. So again, it's one that I'm not. I'll do a couple of rows and then I need a break. So
yeah.
And every other row is sort of a rest row where you're just knitting, so that's good too.
Yeah, because it's a slip stitch pattern, kind of, sorta.
And
it involves slipping of stitches.
This is also being knit on a size 8. I didn't realize that. 5mm. These are my Addy lace clicks, and that's it. That's all I'm working on. My Magic Cake ruffle shawl, I'm still knitting, but I didn't even finish one section, so.
Okay.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm knitting on 2 things as well. The first is the Red Robin shawl, so I will show you what it looks like. It is a pattern by Helen Stewart. I am not doing the things.
Tassels,
because I don't like tassels. It's just, for me, it's not my aesthetic. It does have this cool, let me blow it up even bigger, lace pattern, which I'm almost at. I have like 7 more rows. So I will get at that soon. It is knit on size 6 needles or 4mm, and I'm using an awesome yarn. It is super soft. It is Juno Fiber Arts in the Alice colorway. She has an update coming up, I think this Friday.
That's the Alice base, not the Alice colorway.
Oh, right? I'm sorry, Alice base. Okay. Yes, the colorway is Raisin. The base is a 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, 10% cashmere, and it is a lovely 4-ply. I love 4-plies. They're bouncy.
And if there's one positive thing I can say about having to record 3 times, it's that every time you mention that yarn, I think, ooh, I need to get me some of that.
Is like, I want to get some more. It is, we could buy it together and save on shipping. It's 437 yards, and it is the perfect shawl yarn. Like, it's got an awesome halo. The twist isn't too tight. It wants to drape and be awesome. So if you don't have any alpaca allergies, oh, I just want to squish it and have it be mine for forever. And it is going to be mine.
I was going to say, it is yours.
So, I am, like I said earlier, 7 rows away from starting the textured lace section. Textured lace, I don't know. Textured section. So, and I have a very cool stitch marker from Bling Your String on there. And I have it in my new Tea Club bag. So, I'm very excited about that. That's the first thing, and it fits nicely in there. The second thing I have on my needles is still my socks from Lollipop Yarn. They are in, I think, the Huckleberry Mine colorway. Joan was so sweet, the dyer behind Lollipop Yarns, and she sent me an email. I think it's
I think you said it was I'm Your Huckleberry.
I'm Your Huckleberry, and it's not a colorway she's dyed in like the last 2 years. So I think I actually got this off of D-Stash. I don't think it's one that I purchased from her directly. But this is a little bit longer of a ribbing. It's a 2x2 rib at the top than I typically do. Normally I would just do, like, the toe starts with a blue, so I would rib until it was time for that color and then bind off. But I was on a field trip to the Pink Palace Museum with my 8th graders, and I got distracted trying to keep them safe and out of harm's way.
Because children are daredevils?
All accounted for. It wasn't even that there were daredevils. There were a lot of other high school age groups there. So I did not want to lose one behind the stairs with a teenage boy. That
would be inconvenient, yeah.
That would be very inconvenient to me. So I was, kind of keeping an eye on them and not an eye on my knitting, which is what I get paid to do. So that's good. I have the toe of the second one. These are going to be true afterthought heels. So there's a side that I like less than the other one. It is this side. There's like a funky stitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that my bottom. I'm going to snip a stitch, unravel, pick up those live stitches, and put in an afterthought heel. I'm probably going to do maybe the hat head heel on that. So I would have another sample for the next time I teach my Afterthought Socks class, which will be in Vicksburg, Mississippi at the end of May. So, wee little toe.
Now what?
And it is also in a bling ear string bag.
What?
That I love.
Yeah, I love that bag. It makes me think of Amy and Darren. The aesthetic of the cars. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of them. But, what is the hat head heel? I've never heard of that.
So it's a similar heel to the crown decreases that you would do on the top of a hat. So it's basic. You know how you have top of a hat?
So they kind of spiral?
Yeah, they spiral. They swirl. And you can pick a greater number if you want to decrease faster. So most traditional Afterthought heels decrease on 4 points. That would be the traditional, and also the crystal heel decreases on those 4 points. If with the top of a hat heel, you can do 6 points, you can do 8 points. So you have to look at your row gauge and really decide how deep you want that heel to be to see how many lines of decreases that you want. It also gives you a little bit more flexibility because the number of stitches doesn't necessarily have to be divisible by 4 for it to work, which it doesn't have to be divided by 4 for the regular Afterthought heel anyways, but this way it kind of like you can divide it by 6 if you want, or if you want a more longer heel because you put it in the wrong place, you can divide it by 4 or 3 even if you wanted. So if you want a wider heel, it lets you control different factors with it. Does that make sense? I forgot to mention that I am knitting these on 2.25 millimeter size 1 high sharps. So I'm not certain I made sense there, but it's just a different way of doing an Afterthought heel.
I look forward to seeing how it looks when you're done.
Yeah, it's gonna look like the top of a hat. You already gotta know.
Why do you have to pop my bubble? I'm trying to be all nice.
But that's it for me on the needles. I'm gonna go back to knitting on my shawl because I'm pretty much obsessed with it. No sock love this week. All shawl love. All the time.
Okay, so it's gonna be the Leslie show for a minute.
The whole rest of the time.
No, just for a little bit. Okay, so I do have an FO, even though Laura...
There's no FO.
Laura likes to delete things from show notes just to keep me on my toes, so to speak.
No, I really thought you had shown that last week.
Whatever. So full of crap.
The first time we recorded this, we argued about it for like 10 minutes. I really thought you had finished those and shown them in a day.
No, I had not.
You did knit them in like 2 days, though.
I did knit them in 2 days. I was very...
They were done in my mind.
I was well, I mean, I sent you a finished picture of it last week, right after we recorded. What?
And that's all that matters.
Now, if only I could update my Ravelry projects. That would be awesome.
You could. You just choose not to.
There's like level of effort.
Well, I just think it's funny that you keep up with your stash in Ravelry, but you don't put the effort into uploading your projects in Ravelry. Yeah. There's a disconnect there for me. Whereas I tend to put up my projects.
And refuse adamantly to put up your stash.
Well, I got my reasons.
Yeah, I know.
Since I'm sitting in front of me.
So I decided to knit a pair of socks out of Gail's art. This is the graffiti and asphalt colorway.
Oh, awesome newborn hat with your leftover.
Oh yeah, well I have enough to almost make another pair of socks. Because it was a heavy skein. It was like 465 yards.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the card, but they keep disappearing. Anyway, the base on this is actually gray for the asphalt, and then the graffiti is the specks of color, and it's a BFL nylon blend. And I knit a plain vanilla pair of socks, which I love a lot. And I just did 72 stitches, fish lips, kiss heel, and a typical wedge toe. I knit them for me. I really like them and I wanted to wear them. and
But you haven't been able to wear them all
I
week.
haven't been able to wear them because I wouldn't be able to wear them and then wash them again in time for you guys to see them. And I have 2 dogs and 3 cats, so I have a lot of fur everywhere. Yeah. And no matter how much you clean, you never get it all. So, anyway, I got a pair of socks done, and that makes me very happy because I did them in like 30 hours or something because I was so in love with this color. I want to do something for around the neck with it too because I just love it so much.
That would be pretty. So Steve of Dramatic Knits has this cowl called the Father Time cowl.
It's in my queue.
Really pretty out of that.
Yeah, it's in my queue. I would need a whole nother skein though to do it.
You would.
But
Kale has it in stock because I looked at it yesterday. It
would be really hard to convince me to buy it, let me tell you.
And then your leftovers can become socks for me.
Oh, look at how creative you are.
I am.
And I actually got a pair of socks in the mail on Saturday, which made me happy. These are from Sadie of the Yarnivore podcast. She also has Knitter's Nightmare Yarn, and she's a friend of ours. And these are in Another Crafty Girl in the...
Other Mother.
Other Mother, thank you.
Which is a Coraline reference.
Yes, I was thinking Coraline, but I couldn't remember the name. And they are the sparkle base. And I believe that it's the Jack pattern.
Yep. It is.
Okay.
I looked it up.
Okay. You're awesome.
Sadie puts her projects on Ravelry.
Sadie's a very responsible citizen.
She is. Oh, I have a citizen story for you.
Anyway, I'm talking about socks. Hang on.
Okay.
So anyway, I tried them on and sent her, lots of thanks and motorboats and stuff like that. So, anyway, they fit awesomely, and they're another pair of socks I haven't been able to wear because I wanted to show you guys first. So, okay, now you can talk about citizens.
Oh, so one of my kids, I was trying to explain, what a superintendent of a school district is, and I was like, it's kind of like he's the president of the school district. And the assistant superintendents are the vice presidents. And he goes, well, that makes my principal the mayor of our school, and we're all citizens. And I was like, yes! That is an awesome analogy. That made me so happy.
Teaching when?
He's one of my spec kids, and the fact that he got that...
Wow, that's awesome.
Really awesome. I was so proud of him.
Sometimes that can be hard for anybody. Making those connections like that can be difficult.
Yeah. Super cool, super abstract thinker.
That's awesome.
Very happy. So
that was worthy of interrupting my sock story.
It doesn't take much.
Oh yeah, I do have another thing. Sorry. That was my only FO, but I do have some finished spinning, but I haven't measured it yet. So
you finished it. Oh my goodness. It was it was half done the first time we recorded.
I had spun 2 ounces of it on Sunday, and then yesterday I had almost finished the second 2 ounces. Yeah. So I finished it last night and then plied it earlier today. I had a weird work thing where I worked all day Monday, then I came home, we tried to record, it didn't work, I took a nap, I got up at 11, I was up until 2 working on something.
11 p.m. to 2 a.m. you were up.
Right, and then I had to get back up at 6 a.m.
And you were working on work things, not
Yeah, it was a planned work thing, I knew it was happening. And then I went to bed. I worked until a little afternoon and then went to sleep again. But there were points where I was working, but I was just waiting on something to happen, so I was plying. So this is Big Alice Dyes, and I got this at Twisted in Portland when Michael and Kobe and I went. And it is 80% merino, 20% silk. And I really made an effort with silk. For some reason, when I apply it, I tend to apply it really loosely, so it instead of it being a really well plied yarn, it ends up looking underplied.
Yeah, I have actually 2 skeins similar to that, underplied skeins sitting on my desk for me to reply them.
Yeah, to run them back through. This looks a little better, although I am considering running it through one more time, just to add a tiny bit more ply, but I don't know, I haven't decided yet.
So when you take it off the skein winder, I would see how much it twists.
Yeah, how much of a turn it has in it.
Yeah.
So this went really nicely. I have a little bit left over on the second. Actually, it's the first bobbin. So I got a little bit more out of the first half than I did the second half, but not much. I would say the single is maybe 10 yards long, so it's not bad. So I just need to wind this off and measure it, but I'm really happy with it. And it's nice to get back into spinning. I haven't spun in over a month, and I really love it. Lots and lots. And I get to shotgun Gilmore Girls while I'm watching.
There you go. But you're on the final episode, so you're going to have to find something new.
Well, the final season. I'm in season 7. And Lorelai's back with Rory's dad, and that's boring me to all hell. But you know,
yeah, he wasn't my favorite. I always enjoyed Luke.
He's just a flat kind of character. I'm not a fan of him. But anyway, this is not a movie review or television review podcast. So, yeah, so I'm excited about that. And I have a braid of knitting in color in this like really bright golden color. And I'm thinking about spinning it, and it's the same content, merino silk. Yeah. And I'm thinking about spinning it and then weaving these together.
Ooh, that'd be really pretty.
Because I really like the gold and the blue together, so we'll see.
Nice.
But that's all my spinning. But we do have a book review.
Well, we have, yeah, we could do the book review or we could do the Yarn Club question.
Okay, let's do the Yarn Club question, then we'll do the book review.
So we do have a question thread on the Ravelry forum where we welcome your questions as viewers. And we got a question. It was book review then question. Ha ha ha!
That's okay.
I can't read. We got a question from Yipski Knitter and Nancy Grillo asking us about yarn clubs. If we could talk about yarn clubs, specific and general, because they are looking for some yarn club recommendations. So both Leslie and I have belonged to a ton of yarn clubs in the past. We've kind of slowed down because we have reached a point where our stashes do not have room to intake a whole lot more stuff.
Especially single skeins.
Yeah, so the thing about yarn clubs is typically, there are some exceptions, like the Madeline Tosh's Sweaters Worth, but typically, or they have Sweaters Worth clubs. They are single skeins, and something first to think about when you're thinking about a yarn club is how often do you want something coming to your house? Some yarn clubs send a shipment every month. Some yarn clubs send a shipment every other month, which is actually probably my favorite way of doing it. And some yarn clubs do like 3 months on, 3 months off, 3 months on, 3 months off, like the Loopy U Giftables Club.
Yeah.
So that's one thing to think about. Another thing to think about is the dyer that you're getting, whether it's a dyer or a company that you're getting the yarn from. So if it's someone on Etsy, you want to check their feedback.
Yes, and I would also go to their Ravelry group. Almost all indie dyers have a Ravelry group. And I would just go to their Ravelry group and check for any specific feedback there. You can learn a lot about a club proprietor that way by checking. You can kind of find out, do they typically deliver on time? Do they do people have issues with payments or shipping, or are people generally happy with the club? And you can even go and look at the proprietor's yarn bases and look at the colors that they tend to dye.
You can go into the yarn tab and look at and if they've had a club in the past, what colors have been included. You can also see if people are de-stashing former club colorways. If it's, I'll be honest, if it's a club that has a long wait, but people are frequently de-stashing, sometimes I won't join and I'll just pick the ones that I like off of de-stashes.
Yeah. But so that actually brings up a good point. Some club owners or yarn dyers who offer clubs are very picky about what you do with their yarn after you have it, which I think is kind of silly personally, but you know, to each their own. Everybody's got their right to an opinion. But some club owners have rules about what you can de-stash and when, which legally they really can't say that, but they get kind of upset if they find people destashing their yarns or clubs. I would say that's maybe 2%. Most yarn club folks, you know, once you pay for it and you get it, it's yours. You can do whatever you want with it. I mean, obviously they want you to use it and show it, but...
And there's some people who ask you, if you are going to destash their club, not to be doing it to make a profit.
Right. Which is fair, because, I mean, for the most part, indie dyers, that's how they support themselves. Like, that's their job. So it's only, you know, fair to try to be considerate to that point. I would also, and we talked about this before, and I wish we had been able to save our previous discussion about this because it was very long and thorough, but you want to think about what kind of club you want to join. So there are some, and I'll give you specific examples if I can think of them. There are some, like Laura and I used to be in the Wool Girl clubs, which were themed, like tea themed and ladybug themed, and Wool Girl, I don't know if she still does clubs, but she did a fantastic job of getting great yarn, a great pattern, and tons of extras. Mm-hmm. Like lots of little doodads that sort of related to the theme. So like for I had a ladybug kit, and I got like ladybug erasers and a pencil, you know, with ladybugs on it, and a ladybug charm, and all these really cute little things that pertain to the theme. But they do add cost because, you know, the dyer has to buy them, so it adds cost. So
yeah, you need to think about if like the presentation is very important too, because some people will wrap the yarn very nicely in tissue paper and, you know, wrap everything, and it's kind of like you're getting a birthday present. Birthday presents are in my mind. Or sometimes people will just, you know, stick a bag of fiber inside an envelope, and that's, you know, that's what you get. So as a comparable thing, I was in a fiber club until recently, Into the World Fiber Club, which I absolutely love and regretted canceling, but I just have too much fiber. Once I get it down, then I'll get on the wait list and rejoin. But Chris, her cost was very low each month, and it varied each month just depending on what kind of fiber you got, but it was always in like the $20 to $24 range. And all you got was the fiber in a bag. And tags. Yeah. She does the little, like...
Yeah, she does. She sends you little tags that you can put your yardage on. And that was fine with me. I don't need the extra stuff, just because, you know, I don't keep, like, knickknacks and stuff like that very much. So it was fine with me that I didn't get extra stuff. I was willing to pay less to just get the item. So... Yeah. Let's see.
So, talking about inspiration for clubs, Chris does inspiration. The Into the World has like a photo inspiration contest on Ravelry, which is a way she gets her club subscribers involved as well. But they do she does different themes. And some clubs do have different themes, like another Crafty Girl and Dana of Unwind. They had an art history club, and before that they had a movie club. And I wasn't a part of either of those clubs, but if that was a theme that was like Kevin Bacon movies, just did not do it for me. Yeah. But that is something that I could see some of my very good friends just loving, and the yarn that came out of it is gorgeous. I've since bought a bunch of it on when Ponky had her update on the Loopy U. She had some of it.
That could actually work detrimentally, and I don't mean anything about another Crafty Girl or Dana, but sometimes I get sucked in just by the theme. Like,
oh yeah, that's what I'm going for. Like, I will get super sucked in. Like, if there is a Firefly themed club, I'm thinking about it. But when Into the World did her Doctor Who and her Game of Thrones, I actually thought about canceling, because I was like, I have no interest in Game of Thrones, but because I love Chris and the colors that she comes up with so well, I stayed, which I'm very happy, because I ended up spinning that Doctor Who themes and giving it to a friend, and she just loved it. But and some of the colors I just love from that club, where I don't have to get the reference point.
Yeah.
So
It's a mixed
These are
bag. I
something to
would,
think of too.
if I were to just give you a couple of pieces of advice, if you're looking at joining a yarn club, I would critically look at price and what you get for that price. And you also have to think about shipping. Like, shipping is a cost every single time, so you can't expect that to be a free thing. I would look at that dyer's Etsy history, or go to their Ravelry group and just get an idea of, do they have a happy community? You know, are they responsive to, you know, questions or whatever on the forums?
Are they sending their stuff out on time?
Right.
And if they don't, is that something that's going to bother you to get it a little bit late?
Right. For me, like, this is half of my stash, so I'll be okay if it's a couple weeks late. Like, it's okay with me, as long as it's communicated.
Deficiencies can always arise.
Absolutely.
So for me, I'm more as long as there's communication.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I really look at is how, and Leslie kind of touched upon this, how the dyer communicates with other people. I want someone who's open and friendly. I don't want someone who's going to be like, you ask this question, you're a horrible person.
Yeah, immediately on the defensive, right. So, hopefully we didn't just confuse the issue at all. But if
we are confusing.
We are. I mean, we've both been in a lot of clubs, and out of all the clubs that I've been in, I can't say I've ever been unhappy with anything.
No.
The only issue I have is paying a higher cost for all the little extras just because I don't use them. But it's not like that wasn't told to me in the beginning. It's not like that wasn't clear. So I don't blame that on anybody.
We've always had clubs that have delivered. So that's a good thing. You want to get your stuff that you pay for.
And if you're an indie and you have a club that you want to talk about, that we have a thread on our group. It's called Shut Up and Take My Money. That's a Reddit reference. And you're welcome to advertise in there. Okay. So now we have a book review.
We do have a book review. We are reviewing
Doomsday
Knits by Alex Tinsley. It was sent to us by the wonderful people over at Cooperative Press. It retails for $16.95 for the digital version and $29.95 for the paper plus a digital version. So this is an interesting book.
Yeah, so it's all about post-apocalyptic
fashion.
There you go. That's a good word. So it's sort of tongue-in-cheek, right? You can't take it too seriously. There's a lot of really clever designs in here, but you just have to find how they would fit into your life. So it does have a really nice gallery.
Yeah.
And it's got 2 pages worth. It's actually got like 32 patterns. 4 times 4, 16, 32.
It's basically 50 cents a pattern if you're buying it in the hardcover, and a quarter a pattern if you're buying it the e-version. It's also got very cute little things like the chart of what's your doomsday. I like that they reference Buffy in that. It's got lists of movies, books, music, video games that are all inspired by this genre, in addition to the fashion, and what foods you would eat or could eat if you were in an apocalyptic type situation, which I am all about the Twinkies.
I will say specifically that the styling in this book is done really well. It's really kind of posh and interesting, while at the same time, referencing post-apocalyptic. So these are some leg warmers that are in here, but you see it's got the thigh highs in there. It's a very sort of trendy post-apocalyptic world.
My only criticism is I wish with some of the patterns that there were better close-up shots of the actual pattern.
This is an example. This mitt.
Yeah.
It's difficult to see the patterning on the mitt. Now,
although you do have it on a device where you can make it bigger.
Right. So I can zoom in because I have a digital copy, but if I just had the paper copy, there is
it would be hard to see.
Yeah, there's no real beauty shot.
But you can look at the they have nice clear charts, so you can look at the charts and go from there. One of my favorite patterns in the book, because I can definitely see myself making this, and I think I will definitely be doing that in the future, is I Was a Teenage Mutant by Alex Tinsley, the author of the book. It is that hat. And it's got a really interesting, so it's knit out of Dream in Color Classy with cashmere, but I like that folded over style top. I think I've never done that before. It's different for me on a hat. It takes something that would be kind of a staple wardrobe hat and adds that little twist to it. So I might have to order some Dream in Color Classy and check that out. Try that on for size. I think the hat was only sized to one size fits most, 18.5 inches unstretched. So with some of the accessories, it's mostly one size fits most.
Yeah. Although I will say for the garments, they're sized really well. So this is an example. Oxygenate, which is a tank, and it is sized to fit busts 28 up to 62. So it's got a really nice, pretty lace patterning on the back. It does have a little sort of odd thing on the front of it that I would probably change up just a little bit to continue the lace, but it does fit with the theme of the book. So it is a nice, light, airy piece, and it's knit in silk, so it would be nice and cool.
It would be. It's great for the climate in which I live and in which you live in the summertime, for sure.
Yeah.
There are a lot of summer type pieces here, as well as some versatile winter pieces. One of my favorite winter pieces is Circuit by Spilly Jane. It uses Shibui sock, and it has basically a circuit board on a mitten, which is very cool if you have that geeky person in your life that you're looking to knit for. But I love the color she chose for that.
Yeah, I do too. I think it was a really good color choice.
The lighter blue definitely breaks up having to knit with the black. So it's a great color choice. The charts, again, are nice and big and clear in that one.
And we apologize for any delay in us going back and forth. This book is so huge. It's 170 something pages that our tablets kind of lag trying to keep up with us flipping through.
So one of the other things that I enjoyed is the Cyber Dreads. It's not a pattern, but it is a tutorial on how to make dreads. I saw Hobbledehoy wearing something very similar out of Correspond, and I think that would be fun. I might make some of those for SSK.
That'd be fun. I could make you a tutu you could wear with it.
And a tiara, because that's what I need.
I like the alternating current, which is, it's stripes, but it looks like color work, and I really like the colors that she chose to do it in. The bright lemon yellow and the black.
Yeah.
And
I think the color choices were very fitting and very well done in regards to this book.
Let's see. Oh, you've already talked about Circuit.
Feature, which is a hat, another Alexandra, is it Alexandra? Yes, Tinsley pattern. That uses Mantosh Merino, and it's got like this ladder stitch that goes up the side of the hat, which is pretty cool. I haven't seen, it kind of looks like sutures.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything quite like that.
I like this Technologica, which Laura and I both, as soon as we saw it, thought of our friend Dorian. And this goes from 26.5 inch bust to a 50.5 inch bust. And it looks like this. So it's a very basic sort of tank with cap sleeves, but it's got a fun little
I love the styling on that.
Keyhole top for a little peek. And it's got some really cool details in the shaping on the back, which I think actually enhance the shape. It's got lines where the decreases and increases are. So, yeah, and I agree. I think the styling was very well done on that one.
I really like the pocket mitts, and they are mitts with double kind of hidden pockets. I thought of Leslie Sunkobi if they were a little bit shorter with just the one, he could put his DS games in there,
Yeah.
or a house key, or something else. They do use 2 colors of Madtosh DK. So the inside of the pocket would be perfect. That's one of the colors that'd be perfect for using up like scraps if you have any scraps from another project. And then the outside color uses 1 to 2 skeins depending on the size that you are doing. They come in a small, medium, and then a medium large. So, and they go into negative ease in regards to mins on that. So that's kind of cool as well.
My tablet's trying to keep up with me. It's cute because she's got this book sort of divided into different apocalyptic situations.
She does.
Nuclear winter, zombies, the polar ice caps melting, all these different things. And so each
there's like a fancy dystopia.
Yeah, each different situation has its own fashion.
Yeah. And its own styling. I'm all into the Sky Pirates.
There's a surprise.
Yep. So one of my favorites in there, if I can get to it, is there is a hat. And it is an aviator style hat that is thrummed. It's called Thruminator, I believe. And I love thrumming. It's a very cool technique. I need to knit myself some slippers that are thrummed because they will be super warm. It is by Michelle Lee Bernstein, and it looks like that. Anywhere where that white is in the hat, those are thrums, so they are bits of roving that are knit in.
And there's another picture that shows it, right?
Yeah, there is. Some of the ear flap.
Yeah.
So they turn out like that.
So it adds all that extra fluffing in, which is really nice.
It adds extra fluff. It also means that you might have to make the hat bigger than you think because you're adding
it's
a layer
gonna push
of, like,
out and make it bigger. Yeah.
So your ease is not quite the same. And that's one size fits most up to a 24. But thrums will compress. So that's pretty cool.
I like this is probably one of the plainest items in here, but I like it. It's called Oryx, and it's women's bust 38 up to 64. It uses a fingering weight yarn, and it is a very basic tank with some reverse stockinette detail that kind of makes it look striped. Like I said, it's a very basic top, and it's got a little button detail up at the shoulder.
That's cute.
Yeah, I like the striping effect it has.
I like Forager, which is knit out of a silk yarn, and there's just the vest, but you can also, it comes with the pattern for a detachable cowl. And it had some nice sizing. It was sized from an extra small, which was the 30, all the way up to 54. So lots of sizes, and it's actually knit on size 10.75 needles. I actually own 10.75. They're kind of fun.
Which is an odd size here in the States.
It's a 7mm if you're not in the US. So it's meant to have positive ease, but also like nice and drapey, loose gauge. So
that was maybe 10 of the 32 patterns in the book.
Yeah, there's lots.
Yeah, so you can definitely check it out on Rav. You can go into the book itself, and you can see all the patterns that way. Like Laura mentioned, it's $16.95 if you want just the digital copy, and $30 if you want the print, which will come with a digital download code.
And that is Doomsday Knits by Alex Tinsley. You can find it along with a ton of other wonderful knitting books on the Cooperative Press website. We thank Cooperative Press for allowing us the chance to review it.
Yeah, we always have a good time with their books.
And they're very, they have some specific niche books, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, they do. They do address a lot of the
steampunk or
the pop culture hip and now
hitch.
Sort of.
Yeah, they've got some cool stuff. So, What's next on the needles? For me, I am ripping back my antler sweater. I'm not going to try it on the first time we went through and I tried it on and we talked about it. So it is too big up here. It's kind of falling off. It's the sweater back here. Now I'm wearing another sweater. And 2 sweaters is just too many. So it's basically overall too big. And let me get it out from where it was. Okay. The neckline is too open for my taste. So even if I fold it in half, you can tell like the neckline is huge on me. It comes basically off my shoulders. It is way too long. It grew quite a bit in the wash. It ate up 8 skeins. So what I'm thinking about doing is I'm going to rip off the button bands. And I started getting rid of the buttons after we recorded the other night. I'm going to cut the sleeves and make them 3/4 sleeves so they're less floppy. And I am going to try it on and mark a place to cut here because it's probably around 6 inches too long, I would say, and unravel and reknit that ribbing. And I'm going to add some height to the neckline and put in, Mama Linneman's going to put in a zipper. So there's some major sweater surgery going on there.
It's a lot.
Yeah, so, but I know it's not a lot of knitting. It's a lot of ripping, if that makes sense. Like, the button bands are not getting reknit. So that's getting just ripped out completely. The sleeves are, you know, a little bit of ribbing, an inch of ribbing will be reknit, but that's it. And then cool. An inch or 2 of ribbing at the bottom will be reknit. So it's and a little bit at the top. So it's a lot of ripping, not a lot of knitting. But it's a heavy, it's over 2 pounds. It's a heavy sweater.
Yeah, well, it's like almost 8 skeins of Madeline Tosh vintage, isn't it?
Yep. It's 8. So it's it needs a little bit of help. It's just heavy, and the weight of it is draping it down even
pulling
further.
It, yeah.
Because it is a superwash merino yarn. It does not, it has bounce, but it doesn't, the scales aren't gripping on each other, so the weight of it is actually pulling the garment down.
It doesn't hold its shape as well as a full wool might, like a non-superwash. So next on the needles for me is, I just totally took over, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm so excited about this yarn. This is Juno Fiber Arts in the Buffy Tuffy base. And it is 75% superwash BFL, 25% nylon. It's 464 yards in the Gnome colorway. And one of the things I really like about Osti's yarn, Osti is Juno Fiber Arts, and that's fiber F-I-B-R-E, not E-R, because she's in the UK.
She is. People from Australia and New Zealand spell it that way too. FYI. I wonder if Canadians spell it that way. I bet you they do.
Ask Sadie.
I could.
So these colors, instead of a really drastic, I cannot think of the word. My brain just emptied. Instead of a contrast, that's the word I'm looking for. Instead of a really stark contrast between the colors, they all sort of meld together, which makes me very happy. It makes me appreciate the consideration that was put into the colors and the dyeing. So I'm going to start these hopefully this week because I'm really excited about using this base. And I'm going to knit a pair of socks by our friend Hunter. And they
Hunter
are
Anderson.
Yep, they are marooned.
Is that from Curiosity Cabinet or is that a standalone
It's an
pattern?
independent pattern.
Cool.
And it's written to address variegated yarns, so it's got sort of the slip
That
stitch.
sounds pretty perfect.
Yarn or slip stitch detail, which I think it will be very cool. And it's actually written for several different weights, fingering, DK, or sport. So,
nice.
Yeah, I'm excited about doing that. So I'm gonna cast that on hopefully this week. What else? Favorite things.
Favorite things? You got a club package.
I do, but before that, I want to talk about our sponsor this month.
Yeah.
So on our website, we have a single advertising spot that we run, and we offer to independent artists, whether that's fiber or what have you. And this month it is Travis with Hey That's
He's
Super.
fun.
And Travis does t-shirts.
He does superhero themed t-shirts.
Yeah, and puns and really funny little witty things. So he's our advertiser for this month. You can click on, if you're on the Knit Girls website, you'll see his ad, and it looks like this. And it's got
Wolverine.
Wolverine.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it. He sent us each a shirt as a thank you, and that was really sweet. But he's got all different themed shirts in his shop, and we link him in the show notes as well. So if you're interested, you can get a Wolverine shirt. I think it was like $15 or $16. It's really soft. It's not like that stiff cotton. It's like the American Apparel or something. Yeah. It's really soft.
I love the American Apparel shirts.
Whoa! I just ripped my earbud out.
I did that. It's like another earbud kamikaze day.
I did get a club shipment, and I haven't opened it. See, it's still pretty and packaged.
Oh, wow. Look at you.
So this is from Bling Your String, and I was in the arts club. So she sends a really sweet little note, and it's all packaged up. Really pretty. Here, let me open this without cutting it. And she sends extras too, but her club is still a really great price for what we get.
And she lets you kind of know what extras there are on the front end. There was still, when we checked on Sunday, there was still room in her clubs. I think there will be until April 1st. It's if you're watching this after March 31st, then she does 3-month rounds, so there will be another round coming up soon.
Yeah, so this is my bag, and she said she was inspired by Van Gogh and all of his bold colors. So this month was poppy themed, and it is lined, and she's got her little Bling Your String tag in there. She always includes stitch markers that relate to the theme. So I've got one silver poppy here, and a bunch of the clay or porcelain ones. And I like that she puts these on a safety pin, because I usually take the safety pin off and pin it to the inside. So that when I need a stitch marker and I'm lazy, I can just pull it out of my bag. So there's this, and it's got a little handle on the side as well. And then the extras. So this month, the extras
for different clubs, and some of the clubs have similar fabric. Like everyone gets a similar fabric, like the Tea and Art Club. And then with the other ones, like the Amy Butler Club, she does a survey, and you're like, it's very individualized and customized to what you want, what colors you like. What
I don't know how she does it, honestly. I don't know how she can manage
all that stuff,
all that individual stuff. But I have a sample from Camella's Naturals, Energize, which smells a little bit like sandalwood, maybe. So I got a little sample of lotion bar. I got, this looks like it is a card for yarn or hand spun.
Neat.
So it's got care instructions, fiber type.
Yeah, great for giving to someone that you're giving a gift to.
Same for this. This is from prairiegarden.etsy.com. This one does not have a tag, but it's the same. It's got like care instructions, so this would be a cute little gift made especially for you. Oh, yeah. And I got a coupon for that solid lotion bar.
Cool.
There's a coupon code on the back. And then I really like the cards that she sent. So this is a postcard of the poppies.
Oh, neat.
And it looks cute. This is notes for knitters. And it says, not everybody gets it.
I got that too in mine. That's very cool.
Yeah, that's cute. I love that. And I love these little cards that you get with some shipments because I save them and put them all in a pile, so when I'm ready to send off like a prize or, you know, a gift, I can just pull from the pile. So, anyway, cool. I really love my shipment, and I'm excited to be able to start using my bag now that I've opened it. And you want to talk, I did want to mention the Craftsy contest did end on Sunday when we recorded. I contacted the lady from Craftsy, and she contacted the winner directly. It was number 43 out of over 200 entries. Vicky24 is all the information that I have, but if that sounds like you, check your email. You might have been the winner. We don't have the ability to pull because it was all done on Craftsy's site, so that way we keep it honest
with them. Yep.
So, but Laura has the giveaway item for this month.
I do. So, Stitch Pray Love has really cool lotion bars. And I've been using her lip balm and her, I love this. It's her lotion stick. So I can put it on, like, especially my elbows. It works really well for that. So it's a stick, and it smells like grapefruit. It's delicious. I wish you could smell it.
I wish I could too.
That's super convenient, like having it in the stick form.
Yeah.
Because then stuff's not touching other stuff. But my kids just used up the last of my pear lotion bar from, it wasn't Lolo, it was Lavishay. So I'm going to take this grapefruit lotion bar to work, and she does some great packaging. I love the little bird in the tin. And she's giving one of you either a lotion bar or a lip balm. I think it's a lip balm trio. I need to double check my... She wrote it on a piece of paper, which was awesome, like a cute little note card. And with the move, I have no idea where it went.
But we'll find that out and we'll put it in the thread.
And it's something with lip balm. I love her lip balm. I have the lemon cake, and it's delicious. But we're going to open a contest thread on the Ravelry board and just go over to her shop, Stitch Pray Love, at Etsy.com, and just come back, tell us your favorite scents, and we'll do it that way.
Yep.
We'll pull that next week. Because we've got a special prize for my birthday week.
Speaking of, there's this person that I know who just teamed up with Dream in Color to put out a fancy ass new pattern.
I do have a pattern with Dream in Color. So our giveaway prize for next week is actually going to be a kit. But what I worked on for most of the month of January, besides that one Vesper sock, is I was designing a stole for Dream in Color yarn. It is available currently at yarn shops, and they have a list of the yarn shops on their website. But it is the Curiouser and Curiouser stole, and it looks like that. It does call for 3 skeins of Dream in Color Smushy with Cashmere, this is my first time working with that yarn, and it was amazing. And the colorway is Blue Sulk. They have even more pictures. They did the pictures, so it's all professional photographer. It was so nice.
I think it's lovely.
So,
and it's not your typical rectangular stole.
It is not. It's more of a oval, almost in shape. It has panels of stockinette offset by panels of like a mesh lace, and it's knit all around. And when I reknit it, I'm probably going to do a KAL with it in my group, or the TheKnitGirlls group, in July through September. I'm going to add some beads to the mesh section, because I think that would be, add a little bit of glitz, be very pretty.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would be great.
So, and it's got a picot bind off, which Leslie loves picots.
It explains why for 3 straight days when I asked her what she was knitting, she just told me she was binding something off. Because she didn't tell me about, like, when you design a pattern for a company like that, it's like it's secret. You can't show people what you're doing. So all I knew was that she was knitting something for a company, and that apparently it took forever to bind off. So
yep, it did.
So it's called Curiouser and Curiouser, and right now you can get it from your local yarn shops.
It will be available to everyone through Ravelry purchase on, and you can call any of those yarn shops and they'll give you a download code and you can download it then, or you can wait until June 20th when it goes for sale on Ravelry at that point. And it's kind of open to all. But I like the fact that they leave it exclusive to yarn shops.
Yeah, they're promoting local business.
Yeah, because yarn shops are important. And it's nice to support the smaller, independent people like that. So I appreciate that. So, and I'm picking out ends so I can pick out this button band. But anyway.
So the last thing we have to talk about is SSK related. So if you're not interested, that's totally fine. For our next SSK knit along, and I think we'll actually leave this one open all the way until SSK. We are going to do a charity hat knit along. So it's very basic. We're going to do, and we'll outline some basic information. Guidelines. There you go, for how this works in the thread on the SSK group. You look for that by tomorrow, Wednesday. But basically, for every 100 yards that you use knitting, you'll get an extra ticket for door prizes. So if you knit 5 preemie hats, and altogether that's 300 yards.
And this is charity knitting.
Yes. Then you get 3 tickets, because it's for every 100 yards you get a ticket. So you need to be prepared to bring those to us at SSK and hand them over, because they are charity knit, so they'll go to a local NICU. And if you want to do adult hats like chemo caps, or I'm sure there are homeless shelters that are a little less stringent on what the hats are made out of, I'll do the research and I'll put that in the thread. But again, for every 100 yards that you use, you'll get a ticket. And we'll just fit the hat in whichever bucket it fits in best, whether it's chemo, homeless shelter, whatever. But we feel like this will do a little good, and it'll give you a chance to earn more prizes. So,
and we'll have other knit-alongs as well, and other contests on the SSK board. So if you're not a member of that group, I highly encourage you to join that group as well.
Yeah, it's a really nice active board, and that makes me happy.
Yep.
So, also we have a few openings for SSK due to, people have to drop for life happenings. It's like 3 or 4 regular spots. I don't think we have any day pass spots open right now. So we'll be pulling for that next week. If your name comes up, we'll email you, so just keep an eye on your email. And I think that's it. Do you have anything else?
Nope. Not really. I'm trying to think. No, I don't think so. It's been a kind of calm week. Besides all the testing.
Okay, well, we appreciate you guys sticking in with us. Hopefully this one worked.
Oh, my birthday's next week.
Yes, it is.
How can we forget that? Were you trying to test me?
I was wondering if we were going to make it through the whole episode without a mention of your birthday. So Laura turns 33 on Sunday the 30th.
My mom's making me cake tomorrow because they're going out of town for my birthday.
Is it her 1, 2, 3 cake?
1, 2, 3, 4 cake.
1, 2, 3, 4 cake. Okay.
Pound of butter, 2 eggs, 3 cups of sugar, 4 cups of flour, maybe something like that.
You'll have to ask her.
Yeah.
I've never made the cake. I've heard you talk about it, but
so good with chocolate
icing.
Yeah. Chocolate frosting. Ha ha ha.
So next time we record will be Laura's birthday, hopefully. If
it will be.
Stupid video cooperates. Which will be very exciting. And then in April we'll hit our 4 years.
We will.
Yeah.
That's kind of amazing.
And our 200 episodes. It'll probably be about the same time.
Yep. That's
So
pretty cool.
it is. It's most of the time it is a lot of fun and I really enjoy it. If I had known that I would need to become an editing and software genius in order to manage it, I probably would have never done it. But
Push you.
it is a lot of fun. It's really cool to be able to meet people and bring people together when possible, and I don't know. I enjoy it. So anyway, I'll let you get on with your ripping, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, y'all.